Hello, I'm going to be talking about Canada again, and some of you, I suppose, might be bored with the subject and might wonder why I keep returning to it. And the answer is that I found a very funny video, and I'm going to put the link down there. I'll try and see if I can have it playing behind me. It's very funny. It's called Convoy, and one of the main characters in it is a guy called Rubber Glove. So no prizes for knowing where he got that from. I think it's brilliantly made, and definitely you should watch it. So that's the first thing. I don't know anything about these guys. Nothing at all. I am just approaching the video because I found it, I think it's hilarious, and I want to share it with you all. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that I'm doing my very often habit of looking at the way newspapers are reporting the news. You should be more aware of how news is skewed, and it became apparent to me recently that a lot of people aren't aware. They just read the news and they just take it with the words they're given. And it's sort of like, let's see, you could be given medicine in a spoon that has sugar in it or salt, couldn't you? And there's absolutely, the medicine is like the facts, and the spoon is the government, and the salt or the sugar or the pepper or whatever is the way the government is administering it to you. And a lot of people aren't aware that this happens. Also, I have to say, somebody made a comment that my last video was too full of waffle. I understand that, you see, because what happens when I don't prepare a video, you know, with notes and bullet points and that sort of thing, then I go round in circles, and that's fine as well, because when I edit it, I often cut out chunks so it's snappier and I don't go into too many riffs and all the rest of it. But I just didn't have the time to do that with my last video. I just wanted to get it out. And so, yeah, that's what happens. I think it was Blaise Pascal or Lord Chesterfield, and it's been ascribed to different people, who started a letter to a friend saying, I'm sorry this letter is so long, but I didn't have time to make it short. And that's how I am with my videos. Now, I just want to, remember Grannyopteryx on YouTube, at least for the time being. Rumble, BitChute and Minds. Please like and check that subscribe, especially for YouTube, because I've had lots of people telling me they're subscribed, and then the next time they get to my channel, they're not subscribed. So, you know, it's obvious there's some hanky-panky going on there, and I would very much like it if you would make sure that they're not on the winning side so far. Right, that's the second thing. Like, subscribe, share, and support the channel if you feel like doing so. All right, well, this is LBC. This is a British broadcasting company. LBC, leading Britain's conversation. Well, leading for sure. I think they mean they are the leading, but what they are doing here is leading, and that's not what I want. I suspect it's not what you want either. Okay, news. World. Well, just so you know, we're on the world. Trudeau forced into hiding as 50,000 freedom convoy, in quotes, truckers, storm capital. Now, just look at how they've handed you that news. Just think about how they handed it to you. First of all, Trudeau forced into hiding. What are they saying there? That a bunch of violent, that a terrible violent mob is threatening the life of Trudeau. I haven't seen that. They're certainly threatening his political position, but that's another matter. Trudeau forced into hiding, so they're already telling you this poor man has to hide himself away from these monsters who are coming in their big vicious trucks with teeth. Okay, as 50,000. Now, we're not so sure it is 50,000. That's a sort of top figure. It might be a lot. I know it's a lot. I've seen the pictures. I don't know whether it's 50,000. Of course, it could be more as well. I mean, 50,000 is just a number that's floating about. I haven't seen any proof one way or the other of that. That's the second one. Now, sorry. Right. Okay. I said some words there which I'm going to cut out because of YouTube. So what I am going to do is a little bit of hand signals. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. So any jerkiness, you'll see, you'll understand what happened. So Trudeau forced into hiding, all right, as 50,000. Okay, we got there. And then next word. Right? That's what the 50,000 are. Now, horrible, horrible people crawling with disease. Yes? So this tells you that they are irrational. And then Freedom Convoy, in quotes, which means we don't really think it is. I was at a lecture of, it was some logical colloquium or other, and somebody was saying, well, those quotes don't mean anything. You know, those scare quotes, they don't mean anything. And then another professor stood up and said, well, how about this? If I said, I saw him in a hotel with his wife, and then, of course, everybody realised that scare quotes really do mean something. And those scare quotes there mean Freedom Convoy, not so much. Okay, truckers, and then storm capital. Storm, not drive into, not parade, not march, not walk, not gather, you know, storm. Just look, all those words, just one bomb after another to give you, to push you, the reader, into a certain direction. And then underneath it says here, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his family have been forced into hiding amid security concerns as thousands of truckers protesting poured into Ottawa. All right, so that's in the LBC. It's a disgrace. Okay, next one is this, Global News. I assume that's a Canadian company because it has a CA after it, and I don't think this is California, although maybe it is, I don't know. It says here, Trudeau says very small, very angry trucker convoy is trying to lash out. So look at that. You've got this combination of tiny, red-faced, furious people lashing out. Yeah, and then underneath, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he's concerned about the potential for violence. And in this article, they are actually linking this to the first month of the year and the day. Okay? They're linking it to that demo. I mean, I don't know if YouTube would block me for giving that date, but yeah, who knows with YouTube? I saw Styx Hexenshammer talking, and it's not just me, talking about exactly the same thing. A floating universe of moving morality or pseudo-morality. Okay, so let's see. Prime Minister says he's concerned about the potential for violence during the weekend's planned protest on Parliament Hill by truckers and others joining the crowd to vent their anger about public health restrictions to combat COVID-19. Okay, not about the mandate, but or not about but about public health restrictions, not lunatic restrictions, just restrictions to combat COVID-19. Do you see how that's been sort of pushed into a certain narrative? Of course I'm concerned, Trudeau said in an interview Friday with the Canadian press. A number of people are there without wanting to incite violence. Ugh. But there are going to be, as we've heard, a small group of people in there who are posing a threat to themselves, to each other, to Canadians. Oh, my people. Well, there are always going to be. In fact, I'd say the person who is doing the most damage to the most Canadians is you, Mr. Trudeau. But that's just my opinion, isn't it? Now, somewhere down here... here we are. While key organisers have said violence won't be tolerated, far-right extremists, they're pulling out all the words, and white nationalists have lashed onto it, with some calling for, well, and a, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a red flag that I can wave here. I should have thought of that. But anyway, you've got the print there. Or and then they use the word riot, and then they use the word insurrectionists who stormed the US Capitol a year ago. I can't stay quiet on that. Anyway, I'm hoping that the fact that I haven't mentioned it too often might get me through. So they are linking it to the, as I said, first month of the year, number that, and but what sort of a riot? I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but how much damage did those people do then? As far as I can see, not that much. More damage appears to have been done to them. All right, well, anyway, and why am I coming back to this? Well, first of all, because this convoy is very important, not only in Canada. It's a testing ground for the rest of the world, and they have to succeed. And the other thing is that I just wanted to draw to your attention the way you are manipulated by the way language is used. Sometimes, unless you do textual analysis, you don't really realise what's going on, and you think you're getting information, and what you're actually getting is a slow push in a certain direction, and just by using the language that they're using. Oh, and one more thing. It's a very bad sign, isn't it, when the leader of a country has to run and hide from his electorate. Of course, he may be taking his cue from another leader who also hides from his electorate. It seems to be the fashion among a certain type of politician recently, doesn't it? Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.